Yeah, I know I'm a little bit late to this video because I had to really contain all my emotions from yesterday because the fact is that Chelsea have won the Club World Cup. They beat PSG 3-0 in the Club World Cup final, and let me tell you, it was an absolutely spotless tactical masterclass of a performance. Just from the players, the management, everything was just a perfect performance for Chelsea. And probably in my lifetime, one of the best performances in a final. I mean, considering the fact that PSG are the Champions League winners, just blitzing teams, like, they completely dominated Inter Milan by beating them 5-0 in the final. Also being all the English, a lot of the English clubs en route to winning the Champions League. And also, like, in preparation for this final, they beat Real Madrid 4-0. So I think a lot of people really had, like, odds on that PSG were really going to be, favourites or odds on to win this game against Chelsea. But Chelsea were like, nope, we don't see PSG as favourites. We're just going out there to win. That was literally what Enzo Maresca said. Even Reece James said it. And yeah, it seems that Chelsea did the complete opposite to them. And what a performance it was. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely ecstatic that Chelsea won this game. I know there's been lots of debate and discourse around the new expanded Club World Cup tournament, about its meritocracy, about clubs qualifying for this tournament, and also really how the expanded format is. I mean, there's been lots of discourse around it. It doesn't necessarily prove that you're the best in the world for winning it or not. I really think a lot of this discussion, I think, is a bit irrelevant, okay? I think realistically you are still playing a lot of, top teams. Even if you watch a lot of the teams, even teams from the other confederations, producing shocks. A lot of Brazilian teams have been doing that. Even Al Hilal beating Manchester City. There's been lots of things that's been going on in this tournament. And I think it kind of shows that there is scope around not just the European teams, but also the other confederations to perform in this tournament. And there is a prize money for it as well. I mean, Chelsea have already banked at least £90 million from winning this tournament. And it must, I think it would seem like money that is gained, essentially, considering the fact that Chelsea spent big on Liam Delap and João Pedro, who I think, judging the tournament already, look like really promising players. And I think it's something myself and probably a lot of Chelsea fans will be excited for. And seeing that final display is just proven that. But anyways, I want to kind of talk about the game. So I think the first half, Chelsea were exceptional. I think it was the most perfect first half I've seen Chelsea play in a while. And we completely controlled and contained PSG. I really felt like even with PSG's attack, even the threat they have with Desiree Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Kvaratskhelia, as well as Ousmane Dembele, the pace they have, I thought would cause Chelsea a lot of problems. But Chelsea kept a really well-organised shape, and they were very organised and disciplined in key areas of the pitch, and were able to really break with pace. And I think the player that really stood out in that attack was Cole Palmer. Just absolutely exceptional. His two finishes were inch perfect, just pure placement. There was really I feel like there was power on it, but the fact that from what I've seen from the angle from the two goals, there was more placement to the finish than really there was power, because Donnarumma couldn't reach any of Cole Palmer's shots that were well placed. And he also played a really good assist to João Pedro, who dinked it over Donnarumma. And Chelsea were 3-0 up at half-time, which was the dreamline score. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it that Chelsea were 3-0 up against the Champions League winners. And also how they've been, dominating other teams as well in lead up to this tournament, as well as the Champions League. So, dream start. But second half, I felt PSG were really pushing to really try and get a goal to really make some sort of comeback. Because I think if there was a goal, if PSG did come back, it would have intensify the game a lot. But I felt Robert Sanchez had probably the game of his life for Chelsea. I think watching his performance, it looked like a new goalkeeper has signed for us. he was exceptional. His saves were really good. He even played some really good balls too. Like, he could have actually picked up an assist for Liam Delap, who realistically I think should have scored, but he really like picked up some really good balls as well to widen the play and really stretch PSG's shape. And I think overall it was perfect. And yeah, I think Chelsea really should have made it like at least 4-0. I think Liam Delap scored, but overall 3-0 up. I don't think realistically you could really complain about it, considering overall how good the first half performance was. I think overall it was a perfect display of football. Now, I will say this. In my opinion, I'm still unsure about the title of this trophy being the champions of the world. Technically, it does mean you are champions of the world, winning the Club World Cup, and in this new expanded format. I mean, Chelsea are going to have that title on for 4 years until the next Club World Cup. Bear in mind, it doesn't mean that Chelsea will be granted qualification for the next tournament. They're going to have to win the Champions League or finish high up in UEFA's coefficient rankings to make it to the next Club World Cup. But Chelsea will have that title of being Club World Cup champions for 4 years, compared to like the previous format where it was just once every year, essentially. And the only way that you were only in the Club World Cup is to win the Champions League. But I think it's a title that Chelsea fans will be proud of, I guess. And I think certainly the way the season has ended for Chelsea, like considering they qualified for the Champions League, won the Conference League, and also won the Club World Cup, I personally think this is a brilliant season. And I think it's a season, I think going into next season with the new signings, that I feel this is something I feel like Chelsea fans could be very optimistic about. Even considering the fact, I mean, yes, winning the tournament is one thing, but also like the performance against PSG in that final, I think it makes fans speechless to think like how good this team could be. But overall, regardless of what I think about the new Club World Cup, I am just ecstatic, okay? Like, the way Chelsea played in that final was just superb, just a masterclass, and I feel like Enzo Maresca has done a brilliant job this season. So, overall, just a really, really happy times to be a Chelsea fan. I'm very optimistic about the next season, and hopefully the consistency of this team and potentially how the players grow and improve in this squad is going to get better. So yeah, very happy with the win. Come on, Chelsea. I hope you guys are happy too. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you want to dislike. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's about it. See you later.